Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and this is another StarCraft 2 England cast. Now guys, I've got game 2 of a best of 3 here from the Russian StarCraft League, and it is between EmpireKas, the green Terran player in the top position, and SortOf, the blue Zerg in the lower left. Now, well, game 1, it was pretty sensational. Kas really did play well, like really well. It was madly good. Now, this is of course game 2 and I can't wait to see what actually happens here. I think it should be very good fun to watch, and well, I think judging from game 1 it was closer points, so we may see this go in SortOf's favour. I don't think it's a complete call out to Kas by any means. Now the Russian StarCraft League, I've cast a few of their games already today. This is like the 4th series of it I've cast, so this is very fun for me. I decided I'd sit down this afternoon and just do an immense amount of casting. I was going to say an imaginative amount of casting, but no, definitely an immense amount of casting, and I have been loving it, and I'm getting rather hyperactive and super StarCraft obsessed right now, so bear with me if I get a little too happy. Anyway, what can we expect from these two guys? Well, I reckon SortOf almost certainly going to see a 15 hatch into a 16 pull. That's the most likely thing we'll see here. Now, I'm trying to work out, this map looks a lot like Metopolis or other. I can't remember what it's called, I can never say it right. But it's just got the slight variation that it is only a 2-player map. And well, you've got some interesting attack angles. You've got this rich Vespian geyser at both these positions, and this base does have 3 gases, so that is going to be something that both these players are going to be looking to take, but it does mean you're expanding towards each other. You've got, again, this kind of half base here. It's really quite interesting. I like this map, it's quite exciting. Now, there goes down the expansion for SortOf. Kas going for that 1 rack so far. I reckon a 1 rack CC is quite probable. It seems very likely to me anyway, just because it is an effective opening against Zerg. We should see the orbital command started, and now, there we go, we've got the SCV there ready to build the command center at 400 minerals. The spawning pool on its way out for SortOf. Great move. Now, obviously, getting the spawning pool out at around this time is ideal. You want to get a spawning pool anyway, so perhaps a slight over-exaggeration of a great move there, but, well, we've got to make some things in the early game exciting. Now, talking of exciting, guys, seriously, subscribe to my channel because I get new top-level games up every single day of the week. And if you like my casting style and you like the games I cast, then you should, without doubt, subscribe. Also, leave a cool comment below about what you think of this game, this series, the players, my casting, anything at all, because that would be great. Anyway, spawning pool finished. Hatchery about to finish. Double queens will therefore start the command center. Is a good half done. The gas on its way out. The second gas as well for Kas to catch up in terms of the tech. He's then going to want to chuck down a factory and also get a reactor on that barracks to go reactor Hellions. Not ideally to deal damage, but predominantly in order to keep the map control and prevent creep spread, because if you remember in game 1, SortOf did do the amazing thing of getting 2 queens purely for spreading creep, and that is what you want without a doubt, because spreading creep is a fundamental part of the Zerg game. It gives you vision, it gives your units additional speed, it means that the Terran players are bit weary about going onto it in order to push into your bases or anything like that, so definitely a good move. Now we do have here Kas running a few marines around checking for overlords, but Kas, they're not there. The overlords are behind you and you can't get to them. They are definitely going to survive. The reactor coming down, the factory started, and of course we have yet again got SortOf going for those additional queens, which is going to help because those additional queens mean that these marines are going to die if they should try and push in, because there is just too many queens. This should see the double creep tumor drop in a couple of seconds, not any second. A Zergling is going to get picked off there. That marine is desperately trying to fight for its life and will manage to get the kill. Good on you, marine. You're still a recruit, but you have got a kill. That makes you infinitely better than your buddies who have done nothing so far other than walk around. They're still in their fitness training stage, so be glad, marine, you've seen some combat action. Anyway, we have now got speed on the way out there for SortOf. He does still have 1 worker in gas, not getting any more quite yet. Looking up here for Kas, he's getting up a 3rd command center and the starport. The starport could be for Banshees, we'll wait and see. To be honest, I don't think it will be, because the timing seems a little bit late for it to be that, but I think I'm going to get proved wrong, because there goes down the tech lab, but still, it's all fairly good. I mean, Obviously, the Banshee and Hellion plays are very good indeed, but the Overlord spread absolutely phenomenal for SortOf right now, so the Banshees will have a tough time getting in undetected. The Hellions can still come and poke at the front, though we do have that Roach one forming a bit more of a wall off the creep spread, still going good. A third base attempt out of SortOf at the moment. Kas may try and deny that with only Hellions, but could have a tough time. Will we see Cloak for the Banshees? We didn't in Game 1. Game 2 maybe we will, and yes, we are going to see Cloak in Game 2, so really a big commitment on the Banshees now from Kas. They're going to have to do a big amount of damage in order to pay for themselves, especially after the investment of so much stuff, and this is a great wall off. The doubly Rowan Roach one means that those Hellions are not getting in there, which really results in the Banshees being the only harassment potential right now. We do have a switch going on. We have the 2 more barracks being added at the factory there as well. Will the factory grab a tech lab? I reckon it is likely, just to start with that siege mode, as scouting Zergling will have seen actually that starport with the tech lab, so we'll know Banshees are on the way. The Hellions trying to do a good bit of damage. In terms of the resources lost at the moment, Kas has only lost 100 resources compared to the 400 and something odd, no, 500 now of SortOf, so obviously that means that Kas is in a good spot in terms of engaging cost effectively, and is going to go and take his third base now. That yet again means that he will be on equal bases at exactly, well, pretty much the same time as SortOf, and that puts so much pressure on the Zerg, because you'd always want to be a base up. A macro hatch is on its way down, that will help slightly. Spore Call is coming down, ready to deal with those Banshee should they come over. Of course, they give both detection and can attack air. 2 tech labs being added on as well as reactors, so that means a lot of Marines. Stim will probably come from that. Siege mode from the factory's tech lab. We do have the double engineering bay on its way out, getting the 1-1 upgrades there for Kas. The 1-1 upgrades also on the way out for SortOf, so everything nicely done there. The Hellions coming across will deny these Zerglings that were so desperately trying to prevent that third base. The third base of misery for Zerg, which basically means that you're going to have a Terran player on with a great economy, and that is not something you really want to be worried about dealing with. The lair is finished. Will we see an infestation pick quite soon? I'd like to. I think infestors is just such a strong unit, you should get them very, very quickly, especially when you've got the gas in the bag already. Only 3 gas, 2 gas up at the moment. A third gas is started. The 4th, 5th and 6th gas should be done fairly soon. We have got detection being given by the Overseer there, so that Banshee is not doing as much as they want. 0 kill Banshee is, well, a lot less than you'd want, especially at the amount of resources and time you committed to getting out Cloak Banshees as a Terran player. Now the creep spread, that is going really nicely at the moment. At the 10-minute mark, it's getting about all the way across the map through all the possible attack angles, giving vision of all of these units and where they're moving, and that is exactly what you want when you are a Zerg. You want to know exactly what your opponent's doing. It's not just a Zerg, actually. Any race wants to know precisely what their opponent is doing so they can prepare accordingly. But for Zerg, it's especially important because they can then ultimately decide whether they need more units or if they can afford to drone more. And in terms of droning, we do have 73 drones already out of SortOf, so he's in a great spot economically. These 2 Banshees on their way in for the moment, though. And well, Kas is going to take some losses right now. Those Queens are going to have to come over, focusing down the weaker Banshee first, hopefully going to pick that off. We do have a good defensive spot here out of Kas, but the supply nearly exactly the same right now. More barracks being added on, a second factory being added on as well, just to increase the tank production. But this is a much more standard Marine tank play compared to Game 1, where of course Kas did go for that mech army that was very, very effective. The scan going off just to pick off these creep tumors. And this is exactly what I was saying. Terran players do not like creep. Protoss players do not like creep, and they will actively try to deny it so they can get that element of surprise. A 4th base attempt from SortOf is almost certainly going to get cancelled. I don't see any way it can be defended against 3 Banshees. Their damage output would just be too high. Even as the Queens come over, that 1 Banshee on low health though will try and get away, but doesn't, unfortunately. Cloaking will do no good, of course, when you do have an Overseer there. Now, just looking up at Kas's base, he is getting out more supply depots. He's getting the 2-2 upgrades on their way. The armory is, of course, getting the +1 vehicle weapons. The 1-1 upgrades are done at the moment for SortOf, and he's looking like he's gearing up ready to go for a push, but these Banshees, they are going to pick off some stuff. A couple of Zerglings just keeping an eye on the back route through. The creep spread still going very, very good indeed. The Banshees trying to deny some of it, but there's just too many creep tumors. Ultimately, that number of creep tumors were gained through the fact that there was 2 Queens specifically for spreading creep early game. A Spy on the way out, the Hive on the way as well now. So yet again a quick tech into Broodlords, but there's so many more Marines here for EmpireKas that I don't think the Broodlords are going to be too much of a problem in small numbers. In larger numbers maybe. The Starport, there is only 1 of them on the field, and it's currently not producing anything, so need to start thinking about Vikings should that Spire be spotted, and obviously the Hive Tech, because you need those Vikings to deal with a large number of Broodlords. And well, here we go. We've got some units moving across. The Zerglings were going to go for it for a second, but decided against it when they see just the number of units. The 4th base moving over there for Cass. Because it's not an orbital command yet, I do expect it to become a planetary fortress, and of course that does give that rich Vespian geyser, which is oh so useful. For anyone wondering, on that rich Vespian geyser, you can have 4 guys mining from it rather than 3 to be perfectly efficient. Anyway, we do now have the Marines, the tanks moving forward. We do have a lot of Zerglings here, though. They're coming in for a sandwich maneuver. Zerglings and Roaches coming from behind. This is a great little move. A massive fungal growth on all of the Marines. And wow, that was cleaned up so nicely. That was so good for SortOf right there. That was just beautiful. It was a thing of beauty, and it worked very well indeed. Now we do have a 4th base attempt coming out, a 5th base as well, so double expansion out of SortOf. I think that is a good move. He just crushed Cass's push, and I really do mean crushed. It was so devastating for Cass, that move right there. Adrenal Glands on its way out, the Greatest Spire coming out, the +2 melee attack as well. The Sensor Tower for Cass, a good move. It gives you good ideas of where your opponent's moving and any drops that could be coming in. You have 2 more starports ready to really ramp up the Viking production. Was the Greatest Spire spotted? No, it wasn't. So I'm surprised that Cass is going for that. He must clearly know his timings just oh so well. Now, we do have some Overlords around. We do have these double starports, 2 reactors being built. I expect they could actually get switched just to try and get a lot more Viking production out very quickly, because obviously the Broodlords will be the thing to fear. 90 drones at the moment for SortOf. Soon to be 100, so that basically means that you've got too many drones and you need to start building an awful lot of spine crawlers. That is the correct response, because it's not Broodlord Infestor, it is Broodlord Infestor Spine Crawler. The spine crawlers buy your army time to get back and defend should you need to, because Broodlords are just so slow. It is absolutely insane, so that is why you get those spine crawlers out, for anyone wondering. And you see a lot of low level players forget it and then be like, ah, Broodlord Infestor, it's rubbish, I just died. It's because you didn't have a good defense, and the spine crawlers are the static defense that you require. And you just build a massive row of spine crawlers, like literally everywhere. Also, in Broodlord Infestor, gas is your limiting supply, so you do end up with an awful lot of minerals that are difficult to get rid of, and therefore the spine crawlers serve that purpose as well, that it's a good use of it. Great positioning of the tanks and the medevac, giving vision of the high gun, but a fungal growth goes off and does catch the medevac for the moment, but it should be able to make its way in. And this is going to be a tough position for SortOf to go into, because of course there's just so many units there. 1 roach engaging at a time, but losing a lot of units at the moment. Broodlings are being shot down, and that will force all of this push to go back, because once the Broodlords have been shown, Cass is going to be a little bit worried. He should start ramping up that Viking production, because he has a grand total of 0 on the field, 2 just out now. There is a contaminate, or is it, yep, contaminated onto that starport, which basically means that we will not be seeing any Vikings out there for the moment, but all of these starports do now have reactors, so we can have a potential 6 Vikings produced at a time. The 3-3 infantry weapon and armor upgrades on the way out for Cass, 3-3 ground carapace and melee attack out for SortOf. He's also getting the +1 air attack. Of course, the melee upgrades do assist Broodlings, which makes them a lot more potent, and also their survivability increases massively. But here comes a Zergling push right now. Adrenal Glands is already finished, so they are 2-2 Zerglings with Adrenal Glands, makes them very strong. 3-3 Zerglings with Adrenal Glands are crazily effective. And a push into the 3rd base, and there's nothing in the form of defense here. Those Zerglings are going to be able to do an awful lot of damage very quickly, picking up an awful lot of SCVs. And at the moment, all of Cass's army is pulling back. We do have a big 4 dropship drop coming in, though. But already the infestors are there now. Everything has been cleaned up, and those infestors are just going to chain fungal those medevacs. But luckily, it would appear that Cass has realised what is going on now and will move them out of the way. 106 to 69 workers. 106 is definitely too many. You don't need that many drones, SortOf. Build spine crawlers, build lots and lots of spine crawlers, but a good little push. How many workers were actually killed there? 17, so that is pretty effective. We do have this Zergling run by, which is going to do very little indeed. It gets a couple of marine kills at most, but for the moment, SortOf actually engaging relatively cost effectively. You tend to see Zerg players having much higher resources lost compared to a Terran, even when they are engaging well, so having it that close is a good sign. If obviously Cass had lost more resources than SortOf, it would have been a very bad sign for Cass. Now yet again, getting these tanks in such a great position. Spine crawlers are being built, but those siege mode tank with the vision being granted by the flying units is just so good. But there goes the fungal growth, and the Corruptors melting all of that air support, which suddenly means those tanks have no vision. The Broodlords are attacking the tanks so well. Oh my god, all of those tanks are going to go down. Meanwhile, we've got big 4 drop coming down in the main base. The Greater Spire is going to get melted so quickly. The second Spire will probably go down very quickly as well. The Spore Crawler getting targeted, so there is an escape option should it be wanted. The Broodlords taking down everything. The Marines have managed to take down the 3rd base. This is just crazy. Cass going pretty much all out, but here come the Infestors and just chain funging everything, lobbing down some infested Terrans as well. The Hive needs to survive, otherwise that really is the Tech Dark Ages. And it appears that Cass's push has not done the damage that he would have done. Yes, he picked off the 3rd base in the Greater Spire, but to be honest, the Spire already being rebuilt. It was even being rebuilt before anything else. We do have more Spine Crawlers being built everywhere to defend the Hive, and well, Cassie took big losses there, and he is actually now behind in terms of resources lost, which is definitely not where you want to be as a Terran. Those Broodlords just engaged in basically infinitely cost effectively because the Broodlings cost nothing and the tanks do. So we have an awful lot of mules out for Cass right now. He does have a grand total of 11 mules mining off this half base, which is going to send his mineral income through the roof. He's at 4,000 minerals mined a minute. That is pretty sick, Cass. I'm not going to lie, that is pretty amazing. Anyway, we do have Ultralisks on the way out. I think Ultras are a good tech switch choice because look at how much supply is taken up in Vikings. There's a grand total of 12 Vikings on the field. That is no small amount indeed, and by switching into Ultras, that effectively makes them useless, and it really does make it difficult for Cass to deal with it. But he is starting now going to Ravens. That is where you late game. A lot of Corruptors out though, but of course need to be careful of the Vikings and the Marines, and obviously the Thors as well if they do clump up. There are more Corruptors on the field than Vikings, so they should engage okay. A couple of those Ultras are on the way out. Is there only one on the field? Yep, just one lone Ultralisk being like, you made an Ultra Calvin and this is my token Ultralisk. But it's getting all the upgrades. It's getting the +5 armor upgrade there. And of course Ravens are the only response that Cass really has. He doesn't have any other options than go for Ravens, hoping for some amazing Seeker missiles. And well, there's the two ship weapons and attack, and armor rather coming out. 3-3 already done, and the +1 vehicle weapons. We do have a drop coming in here to what is the 5th base of SortOf, but a fungal growth and chain fungling those Marines down will put an end to it very quickly. A drop in the main is also coming down. A Corruptor is picking off the medevac, but that Hive is taking some damage. We do have the Queens moving up. They should just transfuse the Hive. You want to keep that up at all costs. 5 more Ultras on their way out right now. We do have all of the Broodlords back, but all of the Corruptors still in the middle of the map, and that has yet again been cleaned up quite nicely. In terms of resources lost, both these players have lost a very similar amount. Only 200 resources in it, which at 24 minutes into a game is very, very good indeed. So, gotta say, these two players are very, very closely tied at the moment, and right now I can't actually call which way it's going to go because of course Cass, he has set up, he's got a good position. He's up at 5 bases, he's taking his 6th. He's also getting up another commands, and I can't even count how many orbital commands Cass has right now. It'd take me too long, but Cass really likes getting orbital commands. We still have those 17 Corruptors out, 13 Infestors, as well as the 6 Broodlords and 6 Ultralisks, and that is up against of course 6 Thors, 6 Banshees and 13 Vikings. And just a couple of Marines thrown in for good measure. That basically means this game all comes down to who can engage the best. This 3rd base though is going to take so much damage. 3 orbital commands are potentially going to die here, but all of the Vikings, oh god, this is the biggest loss of the game for Cass. All of the Vikings getting chain fungled. That is such an absolutely historical loss right there for Cass. That takes him down to a grand total of 0 Vikings. He now has no way to deal with the Broodlords, and he won't have for quite some time. And that is the biggest problem of all. The Banshee's getting taken out as well now. The Broodlords are just going to be so potent. The Ultralisks on their way across the map. They are dealing big damage to everything they get in contact to. Of course, the 5-6 armor, they are just effectively indestructible. They take so much fire. And well, we've got Marines coming in, we've got the Thors coming in. They'll help deal with those Ultras, who are just chilling there right now. 4 more Broodlords in production right now for SortOf. That will take his grand total of Broods up to 10 rather. 10 Broodlords are very, very potent indeed. And, well, it's now really a game for SortOf to lose, in my opinion. While the supplies are pretty equal, Cass has lost all of his Vikings, and while he is getting 6 at a time, he is just going to struggle so much to deal with this push if it comes anytime soon. The Marines, they're getting taken down ever so quickly. It is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 base against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 base Zerg. So yes, Cass has more bases. In terms of the worker count, 65 to 56, sort of even losing some of his workers from that 106 grand total I saw at one point. And he has quite a good reason to. He's at 3,000 minerals and just under 2,000 gas, so he has got so much in the bank. The Broodlord's just raining down Terran now. We could see some good fungal growths and stuff go off, but first, of course, that Planetary Fortress does need to get taken down fairly quickly, and that is exactly what the Broodlords are aiming to do. It's taking huge damage. That many Broodlords will take forever to deal damage to, and well, the Planetary Fortress is gone, more orbital commands are going to go down, and this is looking good. Meanwhile, a counter push coming in here for Cass at the moment. He is definitely going for a base race situation because he cannot defend that at the moment. Battle cruisers, where did all of those battle cruisers come? How did I even miss those in the production tab? We do have ship weapons level 3, level 3 ship plating. This game is absolutely insanely bonkers, but it is brilliant nonetheless. The battle cruisers, they're in there, they're in the fray. The behemoth reactor rather, on its way out, and that basically means that that cannon ability of the battle cruisers needs to get researched. Otherwise, it's quite pointless getting it. So, hopefully we will see that upgrade come down. The Corruptors are taking so much damage. The Thors are engaging well. Of course, the splash damage from everything just going absolutely mad. We do have the Thors coming in, but infested Terrans are everywhere. Cass, can he take it? I don't know right now. This is just insane. We do have a Zergling counter push coming in. The battle cruisers are pulling back. 5 battle cruisers in production at a time. This is just ridiculous. So many Corruptors, 12 Corruptors on the way out for SortOf, and seriously, this game is just getting absolutely crazy. Like, how do you call a game like this with battle cruisers? Oh my god, it is brilliant. You've got to love it. But we've got, like, this is just like mass air v mass air right now. Is there even, there's 4 Zerglings on the ground. It's literally, all SortOf has, in terms of ground forces, are 4 Zerglings and 7 Infestors. That is it. All, Cass has got a bit more. He's got the 3 Thors and 3 Marauders and 37 Marines. But SortOf is just completely committed to air superiority. And Cass, he's got a lot of decent stuff there as well. And of course, with just so much, it could be crazy. But don't want to clump them all up, because otherwise a massive fungal growth could literally ruin your day. Meanwhile, we've got the engagement coming in. This is going to be the engagement of the month, almost for sure. Just so much stuff on screen right now. The cannons going off absolutely everywhere. Can you hear them all? It's pretty sick. Marines going off. The Marines, the infested Terrans coming down. This is just madness everywhere, but SortOf is definitely coming out on top here. Those Corruptors dealing so much damage to the battleships, battle cruisers rather, and that is why, of course, you don't go battle cruisers, unfortunately, ever, because it doesn't work too well. And now SortOf has taken the supply lead, and, well, the Marines are getting cleaned up by the few Broodlords. The Infestors surprisingly not getting involved in this too much. Knocking down some infested Terrans now. Of course, the Broodlords are able to just keep chopping and attacking. All of SortOf's army has now been, well, is getting resupplied by Corruptors and Broodlords. We do have the additional bases of Cass trying to get taken down. A 6th base is now down for SortOf. Surprised he hasn't actually tried to take this one and just spread himself out as much as possible, but we'll wait and see. Of course, this game is just complete madness right now. Both of these players have lost, well, there's not too much in it, about 5,000. Yep, 5,000 resources, and both are sort of roughly at around the 40k resources lost, which is mad. That is just absolutely insane. Cass is down 2 though, just these 2 mining bases. He really needs to keep them. That is compared to 1, 2, 3 mining bases for SortOf, so he's in a slightly better position there, but both players are running out of money. We've got quite a few Ravens coming in. Those Seeker missiles are going to be absolutely essential, and I just don't know what to make of this game at the moment. Like, I'm literally at the point of just like, wow, I'm just going to watch this, it's so good. Let me know what you think of the game, guys, in, of course, the comments section below. That'd be great. We've got a couple of Broodlords getting picked off for free, which is not something you want to be happening. The Corruptors, they're moving forward, but look at the Thors. The Thors are there. There's no Neural Parasite. The Neural Parasite is done. There is one with energy, and of course the Thors will get taken out now. This is just mad right now. Everything is going everywhere. The Ravens, they're getting killed very, very quickly. Their bad rally point means that they're just dying for no purpose. And a lot of infested Terrans getting locked down by those infestors right now. And well, those battle cruisers, they're going to go down pretty quickly. We do have the cannons going down, and SortOf GG's out. So that was pretty mad right there. Cass does indeed take game 2. And well, that was pretty awesome. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and if you did enjoy, of course, comment, subscribe, and give it a like. That would be amazing. Anyway, flick over to my channel and I'll see you at game 3 any second. Bye for now.